How to create a timeout policy. Now, let's see a timeout policy. This demo will show you how to create a policy where events are closed when the status is OK. We must consider two important things when a policy is created. Selection criteria should be precise and the proper use of policy configuration. But let's check it out in BHOM console. Once we are in BHOM console, we click in Configuration drop-down menu and goes to Event Policy. Then click in Create button in the upper right corner. It will show you a policy configuration form. So we will start naming our new policy. I suggest to use a descriptive name as a close OK events. Then briefly describe what policy does. In this case, we will type events are closed when status is OK. Next is precedence. That is the priority that the policy has. So the lower the number, the greater the importance. We keep this number. Then we have the most important part in this policy, event selection criteria, where we should pick the correct slots to validate what events will be taken. In this case, we are going to use slot host equals to this server. And severity, because we need to validate whether event is in OK status or not. Then, if we need to run this policy in a specific time, we should select the time frame. For this case, we select always active since we want to run it at all the time. Now, in the last part, in policy configuration, we are going to select time-based option because this policy helps us processing our event under a duration of time and reach the status slot. Once we get the diagram page, we are going to proceed to set up the timeout settings. So we type close OK event after 1 minute in label. The duration for this example, we used 1 minute. So in unit, we will select minutes. So the idea is to close the event after 1 minute with the OK status. Then click apply. Then just right in the bottom half of the console, you will see a drop-down menu that it says add below. Click on it and select enrich. It will create another component in your workflow, which is the enrichment procedure, where we are going to change the status slot to close. Type change status to close in label, along with the status slot and the value which is closed. Then apply. Now save it, add a policy summary, enable the policy, and save it. Now you will see the new policy that you have created in the policy list. Now let's see an example in our environment. Let's recap about our policy. will be only consider events that contains host equals to or host, CLM, AUS, BD4, LFD, and the severity OK. Once we get this event in our console, should be closed after 1 minute. So let's trigger the event test. Event has been triggered. Once the event has come in our console, as we can see, meets both criteria, host and severity. Now, event should be closed after 1 minute. A minute has now passed. Once closed, as we can see, and in order to see if our policy is the one that closed our event, we are going to click in three dots on our left hand on the event and click on View Event Details. Also, we can click directly on the occurred or modified value for the event. Then, we can go to Log and Notes tab, and in the bottom of this screen, we can see what policy has been applied to this event. In this case, our Close OK Events policy. Now, event is closed as per our policy.